You know, class, I want to tell you how important it is that you learn to speak Yiddish. All the most important people in the world, whether they were Jewish or Gentile or whatever they were, Mohammedans, whatever they were, they all could speak Yiddish. Franklin Delano Roosevelt had such a way with Yiddish, and he used to tell funny Yiddish stories. He was a great man. All of the great leaders of the world, Goyish or not, they spoke Yiddish at home or in private. But one thing I want to tell you, our President Bush, I think his name is, he doesn't know a word from Yiddish at all. The language started up here in White Russia, and it jumped from White Russia. They bypassed all of these countries and went to Germany, and that's where Germans learned Yiddish, and they learned German too from the Yiddish, because German comes from Yiddish. Very interesting thing, Czechoslovakia is near Italy, and Italy is the Vatican, and the Pope has always spoken Yiddish after midnight. The Pope speaks Yiddish at midnight. They made a movie out of it. Anyway, today we're going to learn the alphabet. Here is the alphabet here, and we're going to use the short abridged version of the alphabet. It's Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vuv, Zayin, Ches, Tes, Kispines. And now, class, we'll be on our lunch break, and we'll all eat something, but we keep learning while we're eating. I'm going to tell you some of the foods at the various Yiddish restaurants all over Europe. In Switzerland, they're big on salads, and the biggest Yiddish salad is the Ganzemacher. It is a great big salad that can feed 27 people, so you have to be very careful when you order it. Very secret dish that the Pope eats that he likes in the Jewish restaurant. It's called lampimputz. It is a kind of eel that the Pope eats, and it's when he eats it at midnight when he speaks Yiddish, like I told you before. In Austria is Verdehaget. Verdehaget is it's a drop-dead dessert. I can't describe it. It has schlag, and you come out of that, and it's Verdehaget. Ooh, kids, members of the audience, you know what time it is? It's time to go back into the timeline of history of the great Yiddish speakers and the great Yiddish leaders. And the first one we're going to go and talk about is Jesus the Jew. He was a great Yiddish speaker, and the Sermon on the Mount, remember that, was in Yiddish, pure Yiddish. Alexander the Great's really name wasn't Alexander the Great, it was Alexander the Gross. The Gross Alexander, the big Alexander. And when he conquered Jerusalem, that's the name he took. He became Jewish, and he learned Yiddish in Jerusalem, where they speak a very fine Yiddish. The next one I want to talk about is Genghis Khan. His real name, by the way, was not Khan, was Genghis Cohen. But he couldn't lead the Mishagoyim there in China, so he changed his name to Khan. And that's why we love Chinese food. It's our Chinese heritage, and every New Year's and every Christmas we go to a Chinese restaurant to celebrate, and we're really celebrating our heritage to Genghis Khan. Queen Isabella was a little bit sugar. She ended up crazy. But she was Jewish, and she spoke Yiddish, and she didn't want anybody else to know that she spoke Yiddish and she was Jewish, so she really, was a self-hatred person and got rid of a lot of Jews that way. Then there was Tsar Nikolai. There was a great song about Tsar Nikolai. Tsar Nikolai, oh what a guy, made a hasana. I forget the song, but it's a great song. Maybe we'll learn it in another one of our classes. The greatest Jew of all that in modern times was Frank Rizzo. His father was known as Rabbi Rizzo, but in order to get elected, he called the son Frank instead of Frankel, and Frank Rizzo became mayor of Philadelphia, and here's a great picture of him. He loved me. Frank and I were good Jews together. For you people in the radio audience, I'm in television. I'm so old. I think everything is radio. You out there in the television audience, next week we're going to have some great guest singers. We're digging them up. Ludwig Zotz, Menashe Skolnick, Aaron Lebedoff, all the greats are coming back, and you'll be here to hear them sing the great songs. Romania, dort is event, Alan Gesender. You'll love it. And this is Shmuel saying goodbye. I will see you next week at the same time, the same station. And don't forget to contribute money to PBS. Bye-bye. Oh, the dirty little lit fox that killed John Howard lay Jesse James in his grave. Now, most people don't know that Jesse James was Jewish, and he went by the name of John Howard, but his real name was Jake Rabinowitz.